It all started as a university project, something we thought would be groundbreaking. We were a group of ambitious students in the biotechnology department, eager to make a name for ourselves. The goal was simple, at least in theory: create a new organism through genetic engineering. We never imagined it would spiral out of control. Our lab was tucked away in the basement of the science building, a dimly lit, cold room filled with equipment and the faint hum of machinery. We spent countless nights there, working tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Our lead, Dr. Henson, was a brilliant but eccentric scientist who encouraged us to think outside the box. "We are on the brink of something amazing," Dr. Henson would say, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Imagine creating life, controlling it, making it better." Our initial experiments were small and harmless, modifying bacteria, growing new tissues. But as we grew more confident, we began to push further. We combined genes from different species, manipulating DNA in ways that nature never intended. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. One night, after months of trial and error, we finally succeeded. We had created a new organism, a creature that was a patchwork of various genetic materials. It started as a small, translucent blob in a petri dish, pulsating with life. We were ecstatic, celebrating our success without considering the potential consequences. But as days turned into weeks, the creature began to grow at an alarming rate. It developed limbs, eyes, and a mouth filled with sharp teeth. It was unlike anything we had ever seen, a grotesque amalgamation of features that seemed both familiar and alien. We kept it in a reinforced glass tank, feeding it nutrients and observing its behavior. At first, the creature seemed docile, almost curious about its surroundings. But as it grew larger, it became more aggressive. It would thrash against the walls of its tank, making guttural noises that echoed through the lab. Dr. Henson insisted we continue our work, convinced that we were on the verge of a scientific breakthrough. "We can't stop now," he said, his voice tinged with obsession. "We need to understand it, control it." Late one night, as we were finalizing our observations, a power outage plunged the lab into darkness. The emergency lights flickered on, casting eerie shadows across the room. We heard a loud crash, followed by the sound of shattering glass. Our hearts sank as we realized what had happened. The creature had broken free. Panic set in as we scrambled to find a way out. The creature moved quickly, its grotesque form slipping through the shadows. It seemed to be everywhere at once, its glowing eyes piercing the darkness. We barricaded ourselves in a storage room, our breaths shallow and frantic. "We need to call for help," whispered Emily, one of my lab partners, her voice trembling. I pulled out my phone, but there was no signal. The creature's roars grew louder, and we knew it was only a matter of time before it found us. Dr. Henson, ever the scientist, was scribbling notes, muttering about the creature's behavior. "We can't let it escape the building," he said. "We have to contain it." With no other options, we devised a plan. We would lure the creature back into the lab and trap it. It was risky, but it was our only chance. Armed with makeshift weapons, metal rods, and fire extinguishers, we carefully opened the door and crept into the hallway. The creature was there, lurking at the end of the corridor. Its eyes locked onto us, and it let out a bone-chilling screech. We scattered, trying to draw it towards the lab. It lunged at Emily, who managed to dodge its attack, leading it closer to the entrance. Once inside, we slammed the reinforced door shut, trapping it inside. The creature thrashed and roared, but the door held firm. We collapsed against the walls, our bodies shaking with exhaustion and fear. "We did it," I said, barely believing it myself. But our relief was short-lived. Dr. Henson, who had stayed behind in the storage room, was missing. We found his notes scattered on the floor, along with a trail of blood leading into the lab. The creature had gotten to him first. We sealed the lab, alerting the authorities and hoping they could deal with what we had created. The university shut down the entire building, declaring it off-limits. They told the public it was due to structural issues, but we knew the truth. To this day, the lab remains abandoned, a silent testament to our hubris. We never spoke of what happened, each of us haunted by the memory of the monster we made. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear its roars in my dreams, a reminder of the nightmare we unleashed. And I can't shake the feeling that it's still down there, waiting, growing stronger, biding its time until it can break free once again.